This video was inspired by a very brief and simplistic portrayal of semi-aquatic hoverflies on BBC Springwatch. I wanted to offer a more nuanced perspective, one that briefly highlights how fascinating and complex these creatures actually are. One that describes their habitat as somewhere you might not only want to visit, but create. There are over 30 species of hoverfly that depend on wet habitats in the UK. Rat-tailed maggots, or otherwise known as long-tailed larvae, are not only found in stagnant bodies of water, often polluted, and it's remarkable that they can survive in these conditions. But the natural habitats they develop in vary massively. They can be very specialised, from holes in different and specific living tree species to tree stumps, to ponds, wet meadows, ditches, bogs, fens, woodland rides. Even their egg-laying behaviour differs between species, likely due to the water body that they've adapted to prefer. Look at the very neat rows of eggs by the species Hoverfly pendulus, also known as the tiger hoverfly because of its stripes, also known as the footballer because of its strip, which my son prefers. Other species lay individual eggs carefully inserted into crevices, while others simply dump up to 200 eggs in a great pile on the water surface. Larvae presumably drop from eggs above the water or burst straight into the water. The tiny first instar larvae are quite incredible, as they can effectively crawl along the undersurface of the water using the water tension. As they get bigger, they can't really do this, but they can dive, which means they must have pretty good control over their buoyancy. Under the water, they hold on to something, they hook themselves onto the substrate, and they can crawl around and feed. They feed like mini baleen whales, filtering microbes. They extend their breathing tube, their tail, out telescopically up to 4 times the length of their body, and the breathing tube has little hairs on the end, which act as hooks on the water surface, again, using the water tension to keep it hooked as a snorkel while it feeds safely under the water. With some species, they have another survival strategy where they balloon their head, possibly to wedge themselves in a crevice as something like a bird is trying to eat them and yank them out by the breathing tube. Many remain at the larval stage through the winter in the water bodies, and either can detect the temperature dropping and exit the water to avoid being frozen, or they can be frozen for days and survive. Larvae exit the water to pupate, and they pupate near the water body in a crevice or in the surrounding vegetation, but they can travel up to tens of meters in an effort to find a suitable location. It's not just the variety of hoverflies in these water bodies, it's a microhabitat that supports an astonishing diversity of life. Insects, predators, pollinators, and the habitat acts as a watering hole for wildlife. They play a quiet, crucial role, and you cannot only visit them, but recreate them and invite this diversity into your garden. Have a look at the Buzz Club project, Hoverfly Lagoons.